So, Reyna is the newest release champion on Valorant, and she is classified as a duelist, and she does a pretty good job at doing that. So, we're going to start off with her abilities. I'm going to give a very quick rundown of the abilities, and then I'm going to go more in depth into them. So, first off, we have the C. Your C is a blind, so when you throw it, everything in front of the eye gets blinded. The effect of Reyna's blind is the same as Omen's. It's not a complete flash, so don't expect them to be completely, blinded off. In order to trigger your Q and E, you have to get frags, which is kills. Every time you kill someone, they drop a soul. This does not count for assists, so you have to get the kills yourself. And once you kill someone, you can activate your Q or E. Next up, we have the Q. The Q is your healing ability. It heals you, I think, for 100, and any excessive healing will become overheal. Your E, you could suck a soul, you become invulnerable, so you'll be unable to be targeted from guns and skills, but they can still see your character outline. Next up, you have her ult. So her ult has a cast time. While casting, you can't do anything. After you cast it, all enemies in your line of sight will be marked red. You also get some buffs to your Q and E. So after you get a kill, your Q will automatically trigger without sucking a soul. And your E gets a really big upgrade where you still have your invulnerable, but instead now you're invisible completely to the enemies. And after you click R, you get reduced recoil, faster fire rate. This means that this champion really helps out riflers. Next up, we're going to talk more in depth of each ability. So, your C could be thrown over walls, angles, almost anywhere. A good thing to keep in mind is that your blind only affects things in front of the blind. So, if your opponents are not looking at the blind directly, they can't be blinded by the eye. And your opponents can also shoot at the eye to destroy it. So, good ways to counter the blind against Reyna will be not looking at the eye, shoot at the eye, or just don't peek at all. Your blind could be used in many different ways. Mostly people just use it for entry and peeking angles really quickly. And yeah, this skill is pretty strong and it does help out your team a lot pushing onto site. Something to keep in mind is that when you use your blind, you can see where it's getting placed on your minimap. So this is a really good way to set up a good blind across the other side of an angle or on the other side of the wall. Next up, we have the Q. Ooh, the Q is just so good. So you must have a soul in order to use your Q. On pistol round, this is insane. Getting 150 shield on pistol round is just like, what the heck are you gonna do against that? Classics one would like kill you. Maybe a ghost and body shot, could knock you out, but yes. Getting frags in pistol round, Reyna is very, very good. Once you get a kill, you're going to start popping off. This makes Reyna trade very easily because she's willing to trade with you because she has a Q. Because if she kills you, she can still heal herself back up. So something to keep in mind is that your Q and E shares the same amount of charges. So you can either use 4 Qs or 4 Es or, half-half. It's really up to you. Something else is that when you run out of charges, souls will not drop anymore. Something that you should keep in mind with her Q is that you're sucking the life out of the orb and it shows by a straight line. Once that connection of the line is broken, you will not receive healing anymore. Most of the time, this line is line of sight. So if they block your line of sight towards the soul orb, you stop receiving your heal. Another tip about the soul orb is when people smoke you off, it doesn't matter. Your soul will still appear on the screen, so you can suck them even though you're still in smoke. Next up, we have the E. The E is it's pretty good. You could go through a lot of stuff. Like cipher cages. You won't trigger cipher cages. They won't know that you passed through. It also doesn't trigger tripwires. Most utility, you could just run straight past through it. It's very unlikely that you are gonna run through stuff, but if you do need to, you could definitely do it. Most of the time when I see Reyna's use E is just to reposition themselves into a better position so they can, get another pick off. This ability is pretty good. It comes in really handy and this ability makes her a duelist for a reason. When I use Reyna's E, I forget that I'm not invisible, but I am invulnerable on the normal cast. This kind of screws me up sometimes because, I think I'll be like, oh, they don't know where I am, and I get shot in the back. She only gets invisible when she has R activated, so your enemies do know if you're crossing over or going to reposition yourself at a better angle. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about the R. So When you use your R, it lasts for a really, really, really long time. Riot is really lenient on the OT duration. This means that you should try getting a frag soon, but you don't really have to push yourself to get another frag. Frags reset the OT, so if you're trying to pop off, you could pop off pretty hard after a single kill. So the OT has some special interactions with Viper. So the OT only gives you vision of people in your line of sight. So when you walk into Viper's OT, you will see Viper outlined it for you, as will Viper see when you walk into her OT. But once you walk out of her smoke, you won't see her anymore. So yeah, that's a good information to keep in mind next time you're pushing up into a Viper. So we're gonna go over some other interactions with Reyna and other champions. Here we have Sage. So when Reyna is linked with the orb and, getting her overheal and healing, Sage could wall them both off to prevent Reyna from healing any longer. So something we found out with Sage as well is that Reyna's E could also walk over Sage's slow orb without any movement reduction, which is pretty cool. This means that she could run over Molotovs, Viper Poison, all kinds of stuff without taking damage or being affected at all. This also means that she could dodge a lot of OTs such as Brimstones and Breach. Most of the time in game, you're not going to be that fortunate to get a frag while getting ulted by Brimstone or while getting ulted by Breach. But knowing this is also pretty good, because if you just got a frag and they try to stop you, by slowing you down, you can use your E and just run through all the utility like it was nothing. Next up, we have Sova. So when Sova arrows you when you're invulnerable, the arrow will just run straight past you. That also means that bullets will also go past you. Abilities could probably also go past you as well. Something to keep in mind is that when Sova does land his arrow on you, it's stuck onto you, so you would know that your location is revealed. Something that we tried out in this video is that to see if objects will pass through Reyna while she's invulnerable. In this case, we tried Sova Drone. It doesn't go past through Reyna at all, but the dart that the drone shoots does go past through Reyna, which is something good to keep in mind. The final question is, why would I play Reyna? So Reyna is an entry fragger type of champion. If you don't have enough balls to run in and try to entry frag, don't play Reyna, because kind of gonna hold yourself back and the team back. Reyna is, in my opinion, not that high tiered of a champion. She doesn't really have too much team play other than her blind, but she's overall a very, very strong duelist champion. If you're smurfing, or you're trying to climb really fast, I would definitely recommend Reyna, because you're gonna shut on everyone, and then you're gonna be on permanently 150 health the entire game, which is gonna be pretty good. Reyna requires people to play a very ballsy style, because you need to get frags. If you don't believe you could get frags, then don't try it. This is because almost 3 out of your 4 abilities requires you to get kills. You can't use Q if you don't get any kills. You can't use your E if you don't get any kills. And your ulti is pretty much useless if you don't get a kill with it. So you pretty much burn the ulti. The only thing you're actually ever going to use is probably your bind. So if you don't think you could frag out and, carry your team, then don't try picking up Reyna, because you're pretty much playing an agent that doesn't do anything if you don't get frags. That's pretty much the cons of Reyna. So now we're going to move on to the pros. Reyna, you smurf, you could get frags. Dude, the champion is going to be dropping 30, 40 bombs everywhere. This character is insane in fragging out. Every frag makes you snowball harder to the next frag. When you get frags on your OT, it feels so nice, because you could go invisible and you could probably hit them from the back, flank them, do whatever the hell you want, because you're playing Reyna. You fragging, your champion could be able to do anything. Reyna is also a beast at pistol round. Literally, pistol round Reyna is a beast. You kind of want to funnel your Reyna on pistol round, because 150 shield from her Q is pretty darn good. The skill cap on Reyna isn't very high, so picking up Reyna is pretty easy. Everyone could do it. You only got like 3 buttons to actually mash, throw your blind at a good angle, and that's pretty much it. But on the other hand, the skill player cap is very, very high. If the player himself is very good, Reyna is going to look insane. Reyna is going to be like making highlight plays, doing all these crazy stuff that, all the other agents can't do, because the player himself has really good aim, game sense, know where everyone is, getting these good frags out. But on the other hand, if it's in a bad player hand, it's gonna look really, really, really bad. This agent pretty much does nothing. It's just like, a buying blot. So when you pick up Reyna, you have to remember that it's high risk, high reward. Sometimes it's gonna pay off, and you're gonna go popping the game so hard, but also other times you're not gonna do so well. But if you're consistently going like 0-20 or something in your games, maybe Reyna is not the champion for you. So yeah, this is what you should keep in mind before picking up this champion. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and as always, I'll catch you guys on next time. Peace.